Welcome back to your entrepreneurial wake-up call. Mark Haney is living proof that nobody goes through life undefeated. His failures have defined his philosophies. His successes have defined his mantras. And through his stories, we are awakened to our own true potential. He is the entrepreneur next door, and this is The Mark Haney Show.
Welcome back to The Mark Haney Show. I'm Mark Haney, and I'm joined by Eddie Medeiros and Steve Jackson. They are the brothers-in-law that own a company called The Boathouse. Boats and Bros. Eddie, talk to us about this relationship and this business that you have created.
Oh, thanks, Mark. So happy to be on the show. And so it just it started off as a dream. Ever since I was a kid, my dad he was a truck driver, so he worked a lot, but we always had a boat. The family had a boat. We didn't go to Disneyland. We didn't do a lot of crazy vacations, but we always had a boat.
Get out on the water.
Yeah, so that's really the seed that sprouted this years later was just my love for boats and the confidence that it built in me. I think that has a lot to do with our drive and ambition in entrepreneurship. Was the first time I got up skiing was like, wow, I could really do this. And then you practice more and you get better at it. And you're like, well, what's the next big thing you can do? And wakeboarding, I could do that. Then my dad at 12 said, hey, you want to drive the boat? No, I don't know. That's risky. Well, hey, then I could do that. So I think that's what led to us opening up a used boat dealership about 11 months ago.
The love of boats. You talk about taking a risk out there on the water. What made you choose this business partner? Choosing the right business partner is a huge decision. There is some risk in the way we choose our business partners.
Yeah, so it wasn't because he was my family, and I mean that as a compliment to Steve. So when I looked at bringing someone on, there was two factors. I needed convenience, which he brought because his schedule and his property allowed us to build the startup. And then secondly, it's personality. He is actually probably the opposite personality of me.
Very complimentary.
Yeah, I think it really helps out a lot.
Yeah.
Okay,
the
Steve,
yin and the yang here.
Talk to us about that. The yin yang. How would you describe the difference between you and Eddie?
Eddie's definitely a type A personality. He's very excitable and very energetic. I feel like I am a little bit more mellow and I can take my time a little bit easier.
The calming influence.
Yeah, and I think it really helps, especially when you're dealing with used boats. There's a lot of things that come up and customer issues and things with the boats. So I think that we help each other. He helps keep me on task sometimes because sometimes I get real relaxed and mellow and it's going to be fine. But, sometimes you need a little bit of that. So I think the combination of us really help us kind of run that together.
Who came up with the name, Steve?
I think Eddie did, right?
I did.
You did. How'd you
throwing
write
a
with that
bunch out.
name? The Boathouse. Very simple, but your logo is like, it's cool.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. One of our favorite spots to go is Tahoe.
Yes.
And when you go in Tahoe, you see some of these gorgeous boathouses, and inside of them are equally gorgeous boats, sometimes some beautiful cobalts and stuff. And so we wanted to associate our dealership with more of a high-end, protected, trusting, lasting, just vibe. And so when we saw these boathouses, we think how beautiful Tahoe is. We just thought, you know what? If someone wants to buy a boat, they're going to want to buy it at the Boathouse.
Yeah, interesting. All right, so Steve, how do you guys break up the responsibilities? I see the difference in the personalities, but who does what around the Boathouse?
We started off, Eddie does a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff, the business aspect of it, where initially I was doing a lot of the mechanical side, repairs, maintenance, all that stuff, as well as we were storing some of the boats on my property, as well as other places. But I think as we've been growing, we've been starting to outsource a lot of that. So now Eddie and I are kind of doing the same thing where, we're looking for the boats, we're picking up boats, we're dropping boats off, selling boats. But now we've kind of started to create a little bit of a team where we're outsourcing all the other things because it just took so much time to, detail boats, do maintenance on boats, do all these things. So I think we're kind of doing the same thing now. We're working on just kind of establishing a team to where you could pick up a boat, drop it off at 3 places, and then it's ready for resale.
Well, Eddie, you were wearing your hanging or banging shirt the other day. You posted something out on Facebook because you and I are buddies. You're now in the Entrepreneurs Organization. But, I mean, when we're hanging, we're at our downtime. To me, that's like a cold drink out in the middle of the lake. But when we're banging, we're at our very best opportunity. But thinking about you, you own a farmer's insurance agency. You own other insurance businesses and the boathouse. How do you divide your time? What's banging look like for a guy like Eddie Medeiros?
Oh man, that's always a challenge. You evaluate where you're spending your hours, and can you delegate some of those things? And having Steve is probably the only way that the boathouse works, because when I'm on with the insurance, companies, he is taking over the boathouse responsibilities, and so we pass that ball back and forth a lot, and heavy texting. Heavy texting.
I love it. So what's the craziest thing he might text you? Like, when everything hits the fan and it's Eddie's text.
So
Steve,
Eddie's hours operate from like 6 o'clock in the morning till about midnight.
Yep.
And
those are acceptable texting times in my
you know,
world.
That's entrepreneurship.
I'm married to Eddie's sister, and she does not like it very much because at the end of the day, we're like, I'm in bed because I if I'm having to go to work next day or whatever, Eddie will text me at 11:30, like, Steve, did you see this boat? What do you think about this boat? Should we? I'm like, it's 11:30.
Hey,
We're not going to call these people right now to buy this boat. This could wait till the morning, but
Well,
but
I mean,
like
that kind of
It's fun.
shows a passion, right? Thinking about that, when people are, I think that's what entrepreneurship is about. We're so passionate about helping our customers. We're so passionate about chasing these opportunities. We can't shut it off at times. Are you that way as well, or is that just Eddie?
I think that we both. I mean, we'll send each other some days, and at my regular job, I actually have some downtime to where I'll shoot Eddie probably like 15 different boats. Like, hey, do you like this one? What do you think about this? I've been talking to this guy. What do you think about this? And we'll just kind of shoot back and forth. But I think it's that like being aggressive that helps us find the boats that we're looking for and bring them up here to Placer County.
So you guys are young guys, and you guys are obviously having a tremendous amount of success, but I mean, the future looks extremely bright. How do you decide? We're talking about lifestyle or legacy, right? How much of your focus is on building that lifestyle for that family, and how much of it, just having cool toys for yourself? How much is on that front, and how much is about really what this thing can become for the future and, your legacy?
Yeah, no. I can't take any credit, and I don't think any entrepreneur out there, for the most part, could take credit for the successes if they didn't acknowledge and honor. Maybe it was a father or a grandfather or a friend or someone else that believed in them earlier on that paved the way. And for us, it's my grandfather who came to this country as an immigrant with nothing. And I don't even think he's passed away now, but he didn't get to see the entrepreneurial seed take some fruit. But so in terms of legacy, that's what we're trying to build. We both have kids, and we want to not only show them what we're doing, so more is caught than taught, right?
Yeah.
And so we want them to see what we're doing. We want them to see that we're taking risks, but more importantly, we want them to see how we're treating our clients. And how we treat other people, and then how we give back to our community. And that's a responsibility that we're very committed to. And so that significance of leaving that legacy is really what drives us. In terms of lifestyle, that again goes back to my grandfather, the hard work that he did, sacrificing everything so that we could have a leg up. We have a pretty good lifestyle. We both have beautiful homes, beautiful families. We got pools and we got boats.
Yeah.
So,
hey,
so we're
life
using
is pretty good.
Yeah, we're using our boats all the time. And I don't think at the moment improving our lifestyle is a huge goal for us. It's more of giving back to our community right now. And building out the company to see where this could go.
Eddie, you're part of your grandfather's legacy. What would you say to your grandfather if he was sitting right here with us right now?
Well, he'd be mad at me because I'd have to say it in Portuguese, and I don't know anymore.
You haven't been studying that Portuguese, huh?
No, I would just, of course, I would thank him and tell him it was worth it. Everything that he ever did was worth it.
Awesome. Eddie, Steve, thank you guys for joining us on the show today. Congratulations on the success of the Boathouse and everything else that you're doing. I love that I have my entrepreneurial brothers right here with me today. When we return, Marks and I will talk about our takeaways, our closing thoughts about lifestyle, about legacy. Join the revolution at handybiz.com, courtesy of Ethan Conrad Properties and financial advisors, Stifel Financial. This is the Mark Haney Show.